What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the building blocks of pressure, okay? And pressure, full court pressure to us is about pressure on the ball and spacing everywhere else. Full court pressure to Georgia has 3 levels. There's the back court, where we pick you up and start the press. There's the area around the half line, and on this court, this yellow line here extended all the way across the floor, down to this yellow line extended across the floor would be a second area of the floor that we call the ready area. We've got to be ready to change. We're going to play you differently in the full court than we are in the middle of the court. You know, when we hit this area, we're going to be ready for some change and ready to do things a little bit different, guys. And then when we exit this area and enter into the half court, we're going to play a little bit different still yet. Now we're starting as you would be to settle into our half court defense. So one of the things that we do in the very beginning, first day of practice, guys, I want you to buddy up with somebody, same speed and quickness as best you can, and let's get matched up. We're going to go a little full court here. We want an offensive person, a defensive man ready to guard that person, and so on down the line. One of the things that we teach in the full court, and I'm not going to get into stance and feet, okay? You teach stance, you teach feet and hands, and do it the way you want to do it. We do it a certain way, but the things that I'm going to teach our kids in the full court area, number one, regardless, guys, of what's going on until you get to that yellow line toward the middle of the floor there, I want your nose on the basketball, okay? Now, you can do whatever you want with your hands and feet, whatever coach teaches you. The second thing we're going to teach that I think is very, very important with full court pressure has to do with the sidelines. It can also have a lot to do with what happens on a baseline. One of the things we don't ever want to have happen when we press is to get beat down the line. And oftentimes what happens in a game on a baseline or a sideline is a person starts to break a defender down here with a dribble, and a good player will push that dribble by or past the defender. And when that happens, most of the time, sometimes that kid will step in and take charge. But most of the time, that defender will open when that ball goes by. And so we just got beat on the baseline or the sideline. Now, when we're pressing, we can't afford for that to happen. So the first thing we're going to have happen here, if I can be the offensive player first, is this person, you got your nose on the basketball, right? This person's going to keep their nose on the ball. I'm going to take the ball on offense, guys, all the way to the sideline. When I get to the sideline, I want one of your feet out of bounds and one of your feet in bounds. Now just stand still for a second. We've got to teach defensive players to play through the lines. I want you to pull this visual up real quick. Defensive players trying to stay in bounds. Think about it. You don't see defensive players go out of bounds very much unless they're chasing a poorly thrown ball. There's no rule about that. And if we don't play through the lines, what you do see are defensive players, as they're guarding the ball, stop about 10 inches short of the line. And the really, really good offensive players will beat you with that 10 inches.